Hey everyone, I want to give you guys a quick pistol brace update. Okay, so we have some testimony by ATF Director Dettelbach before Congress this past week, who said that in order to come into compliance with the unconstitutional pistol brace rule that the ATF came up with, all we have to do is remove the pistol brace from the AR pistol. Okay. So it's legal for you to have this, it's legal for you to have this, it's just questionable if these two things can be attached to each other, okay? So in the past, there were people that were saying that just simply removing the brace was not enough. You would have to change the buffer tube so that there was no way that the brace could be attached to the buffer tube, and it was, I'm not blaming them. I mean, it was kind of questionable the way the rule was written, but we've got Dettelbach now on camera recorded as saying that all we have to do is remove these two. Okay, so that said, basically what you can do at this point is just remove these two, you throw both of them into the safe like this. So basically, it's really a storage rule, right? How are you going to store the gun? So you throw these two into the safe, separated, and you can wait and see what's going to happen with the courts, what the ultimate outcome is going to be. You don't have to destroy or surrender anything. You certainly don't have to register anything. So you're good. Now time is kind of on our side now, because you don't have to throw any extra money into this. Okay. Now, the one thing I would recommend that you don't do is use this type of a gun for any self-defense purpose. Okay, because right now the legality of this is kind of in question. And remember, lots of prosecutors and cops are not going to know the law. They're not going to know what Dettelbach said before Congress, right? So a lot of prosecutors and cops may not be so familiar. So I would not use this gun for a self-defense type of purpose. In fact, what I would recommend, that you all have a prepaid legal service, okay? Because remember, for that reason, that police and prosecutors often don't know the law, or especially with these leftist prosecutors, they twist the law to mean whatever they want it to mean. They redefine it. So that's why you never talk to the police. It is legal for the police to lie to you, okay, whether intentionally or just because they don't know the law. I have a prepaid legal service called U.S. Lawshield. I've done other reviews. I've done videos where I've compared these to other, basically gun lawyers, right? These are gun lawyers. Other people will refer to it as gun insurance. And this is the one I use because it's cheap. It's only $11. All right, there's the price there. It's actually $10.95. And then there's a promo code here that I got for you guys, Pocono Shooting. You have to sign up online or through their app in order to get the discount. The discount could be an extra month. So you get some discount. It does change from state to state. In some states you get 2 months. So use that promo code. And what you would do is, aside from what I'm saying, once you get this legal service, what you would do is send these guys an email asking for the legality of the pistol brace. Ask them to verify for you that, yes, Dettelbach said that, we can just separate the two. Because now you have it in writing from a lawyer rather than just a video from me that's floating around on the internet, okay? So ideally, you want to get this in writing from a lawyer. That's primarily how I use these guys, okay? I use them to gain information like that. Okay, so the reason why I use these guys is they're just the cheapest, right? $11 a month, plus with that promo code, you get the discount. So I use these guys to kind of like, to basically be able to say that the reason why I'm doing it is because that lawyer over there told me to do so, told me it's okay to do so, and I have it in writing here. The other way I use these guys, if I'm traveling, I get an itinerary from these guys where I can take my guns, where I can't, and so forth. So I get an itinerary from them. And of course, if I'm ever in a self-defense situation, you don't talk to the police, you get these guys. So going back to the pistol brace issue, I did a video in the past week where I was recommending that people change the AR upper, okay? And that might still be necessary because necessary for not for legal purposes, but it might be necessary for practical purposes, because I've been recommending AR pistols for the last few years to women as a primary home defense gun, right? So the AR pistol being the primary and the handgun being the backup. The reason why I recommend AR pistols to women is because they're less front heavy, right? So women are able to hold this gun up comfortably and shoot it. So this is a great gun for women. However, with the legality issue of the pistol brace, okay, now let's consider the option of removing the brace. Okay, so the brace basically stabilizes the gun. So now women would basically have to kind of cheek the gun. And what this does is it makes the gun harder to hit the targets, and it's harder for women to stabilize the targets. Now I can, just like this, I can hit targets out standing. I can hit them out all the way out to 75 yards over there. But most women are going to require a little bit more stability. So what I have found in training, and I've actually been testing this out, when women are shooting the AR pistols with just the buffer tube, I'm finding that they're a lot less steady with the gun. And the problem there is that they're going to miss the things that they're trying to hit, and they might hit things that they don't want to hit. Okay, so having the brace on here basically makes the gun safer. Okay, so this ATF rule makes absolutely no sense because it makes this gun safer to shoot where you can put the bullets where you really want to put them. So because of that safety concern, for most of the women that I train, I'm still going to recommend changing the upper, okay? Pulling out the pins, right? This is a really easy thing to do. Pull out the pins and just take get an upper with a 16-inch barrel, put it on. Okay, and now they have a legal gun that they can use for self-defense. What they would do is they would shorten the brace over here, right? So that to bring the gun a little bit closer to their body. It's a little bit more, it's a lot more front heavy than the other gun, but it is, it's what they're gonna have to do until this pistol brace rule gets resolved. The good thing is that they now no longer they don't need to worry about what to do with this, right? Because this is perfectly legal. This can go in the back of the safe until this pistol brace rule gets resolved in the courts. And then later on, after we win in the courts, this can go back on here. And if you look over here, this is this came from Palmetto. This is an AR upper for one of the women that I train. So these, I used to be able to get these for like $320. Now I think the price has gone up to $350. If you catch it on sale or something, you can get it closer to like closer to $300. But the nice thing about this is, you get this, and this is, you want to get one that's skeletonized, right? You see how this has lots of holes over here, because the more holes this has in the rail, the less front heavy it's going to be. So that's a really great for women. So what's going to happen is they're gonna put the 16-inch upper on the braced lower. Okay, this goes in the safe, okay, until we win in court ultimately. And then what's going to happen is when we win, right, then this comes back off, or rather you can just stay back on, and all they have to do is now just get another Palmetto lower, right, a braced lower. Actually, we want to keep this one because this one's braced, so we're going to take this off. Take this off, I throw this back on here. Okay, and now for I think $150 to $200, you just get a standard lower with a regular stock, and now they've got two guns. Okay, so basically it's in the long run it'll work good for them because now they got an AR pistol and an AR rifle. Okay, so they're going to end up with two guns at the end of all this. So it's not the worst thing in the world. The only thing that they have to be aware of, I think that there's some silly rule that says that once this lower becomes a rifle, right, it cannot go back to being a pistol. right? Okay, so I think there is a rule on the books, technical rule on the books, that once this goes on the rifle, it can't go back to being a pistol. So that means that this is going to have to stay on here, okay? And then what that means is that this is going to have to come off, okay? So now this is going to get a regular stock, okay? And then, in fact, that's going to get a regular stock, and then what's going to happen is I would have to get a replacement lower for this, and then this would go on the replacement lower, okay? Now, I mean, again, this is kind of like a technicality. Again, this is why you don't talk to the police, because there's so many details. I mean, how much of that, of what I just said, is 100% correct? Is there an exception to something? I don't know. Maybe I didn't get all of that right? Because as you know, I'm not 100% sure. So again, that's why you don't talk to the police. That's why you have a prepaid legal service to do the talking for you, right? Even if it's just to explain that, you know, to explain what you did or not explain what you did. Because in most cases, you don't need to tell the police or the prosecutors exactly what you did. It's up to them to go figure out through their own means what you did or may not have done, okay? So in reality, you would not, you know, through this whole process of buying uppers, buying lowers, taking the brace off of one, putting the brace back on the other, you may have committed some technical crime in all that. Like I don't know, you know. So even though the end result might be illegal in the process, maybe you broke some law. I mean, I don't know. But that's why you need a prepaid legal service. So to kind of act that as a buffer, so that they can basically tell the police not to ask you any questions, and in most cases they're going to tell the police, you know what, we're not going to answer any questions at all. You know, you go out there and you figure out what this person may have done or may not have done. In which case, if they don't have evidence, they can't prosecute. Okay, so that's why the best thing to do is remain silent. Don't admit to anything. Don't deny anything, right? Because if you try to deny things, right, somewhere in that denial process, you may, you know, somewhere in that denial process, you might make like a little teeny bitty mistake, and now all of a sudden they can use that teeny little mistake that you made as basically an admission to a crime, and now they can go get a warrant, and now they can, you know, basically proceed further, right? So that's why you don't want to talk to police at all, even to deny things, okay? So for example, with this case over here now, where I'm switching back and forth with this, I don't know what's the issue. I'm not 100% sure with the legality, but basically it is intended at this point that everything is going to become, basically this is going to go sit in the safe until this is all resolved. In the end, when this is all done, I'm just going to get another braced pistol lower for this, so that at no point do I match this up with a lower that was at one point a rifle, okay? So that's one of the things you've got to be aware of. Now, you might say, well, how would they even know that you did? Well, they don't know. That's why you keep your mouth shut, okay? And that's why you get the prepaid legal service, okay? So again, this one is U.S. Lawshield, okay? And there's your promo code, Pocono Shooting. There's the website. All right, so that's one of the things to be aware of as we're going through this whole process, as we're switching uppers and lowers around that. Once a pistol lower becomes a rifle, it may not be able to go back to being a pistol. So you got to work your way around that. Okay. So yeah. So just be aware of that. Not too many people have been talking about that. You know, about that little detail over there. That, again, which might be self-incriminating if you talk about it thinking that it's legal. Maybe you did something that's somewhere in the process, you did something that was not legal. Okay. So for right now, this goes in the safe until it's all resolved, and basically this upper is going to be a rifle. This upper is going to be a rifle, and that's the end of that. So hope you guys found this information useful. Drop some comments below. So again, the big takeaway from all this is we got Dettelbach, ATF Director Dettelbach, telling us that all we have to do is remove the pistol brace. We don't have to change the buffer tube or anything like that. So that's good. So it's not going to cost you guys anything. Just remove the two, throw the two into the safe separately, and wait for the courts, you know, wait for all this to work its way throughout the courts. If you're in the position where you only have you only have an AR pistol, the easiest thing for you to do, if you only have an AR pistol and you need something that you can legally use for a self-defense type of situation, the next best thing to do is just get yourself an AR, a rifle length AR upper, okay, and just pull out the pins and swap it in, and now you have a gun that you should be able to legally use. Again, quote, legally should run this all through an attorney, get the final stamp of approval. And like I said, attorneys are very expensive. Like my regular lawyer charges like $250 an hour, which is the reason why I try not to use them as much as possible. I try to use these guys as much as possible because they are only $11 a month. You know, and then with the promo code you get some freebie. All right, so thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.